It's the JT Cho Show!
Thank you.
We routed that squad.
All right.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
You look dumb.
Do I?
Well, because it's sticking above your headband.
Yeah. I'm not gonna put it under.
Oh, okay. It just looks hilarious. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Welcome
Cheers,
back
brother.
to
1, 2, 4, right?
1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4 on March 4th, 2023. I'm JT. This is Cut. We just got back from the movies, and
Yep.
do you got your birthday written down?
I do.
Oh, here, let me grab the shots for us.
Oh yeah, here.
What you
Say,
do,
dude.
you just-
Dude, I taught you that.
I read it on the box.
Nice.
Oh, hey, if you haven't noticed already, look at Cut's face.
Oh yeah. No beard, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So you guys can see my gross neck now.
yeah, similar to my haircut. It was just one of those.
It was a spur of the moment thing, and I was actually really close to shaving my entire fucking head. Like, you have no idea. Like, I had it in my hand, and I had it, like, right here. Like, I was getting up here, and I was like, I should just fucking, yeah. But I didn't.
That's toxic behavior.
I'm really glad I did.
That would have been hilarious.
The beard is,
I would have been like,
the
what'd
beard
you
is
do?
the most
What'd
self-mutilation
you do
you'll
with
get
Cut?
out of me.
What'd you do with Cut? Who's your birthday?
Alright, so I got actress. Didn't look up where she's from. I normally do, but I didn't this time. Catherine O'Hara.
Okay.
She turned 69 today. She was the mom in Home Alone. And she was also the old lady in Schitt's Creek. If you ever watched that.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the Moira Rose.
Yeah. Mine's also an actress.
Okay.
She's 65 years old.
Oh, we were close.
Patricia Heaton.
What's she from?
She's the wife in Everyone Loves Raymond.
Oh, she's 65.
Yeah. She also played in that show with the janitor from.
How old's Ray Romano?
He's in his 60s as well.
Really?
I'm gonna
That's
say.
insane.
Okay, I'd say Ray Romano is.
For some reason, I just picture
I'd say
everyone.
I'd say
being
66.
I'll take the under.
Ray.
Hard guess, it's 59.
No, he's older. He's older than my father. 65.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I got the under win.
Yeah. Price is Right rules. So shout out. Oh, she's also. You know, have you ever seen the show she was in with the janitor?
I think so.
Cheers.
Catherine O'Hara.
I believe it was called The Middle. And he had 3 kids, and him and his wife worked basic jobs. They raised a family, and she was the wife in that too, and she was still a hard ass. And I was like, that's so funny.
So everyone loves Raymond.
Except there was no one to
Raymond's
love.
Okay.
It was just a family trying their best.
Fun fact: tomorrow would have been Tiger Woods' dad's 84th birthday.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's wild.
or maybe 94th. I can't remember what it was.
So March 4th, I'll just get one of mine out of the way. Well, what we did today is we had a snowstorm last night. We had thunder snow last night,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool to talk about, which is a thunderstorm during a snowstorm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because when you're outside and you see thunder or lightning, I can't remember the one you can see. One of them's just the sound. But
Wow.
anyways,
Thunder makes the clapping.
Yeah, all right. I was gonna say one of them was just the sound. But when you see it light up the area, it just lights it up like it's daytime.
Yeah.
But when there's snow on the ground, it's so bright.
It's
it just
yellow
reflects
light.
off of everything.
Yeah, because it's there's a nasty wind last night, and then with the street lamp colors and already reflecting off the snow.
Yeah, ours came through the window super purple.
Yeah, it was looking wild. It's kind of cool to live through.
Crazy colors, yeah.
So last I was tired all day. I shoveled the driveway. It took me 2.5 hours last night. Listened to the new Rogan podcast with Russell Brand. One of his better ones.
It was definitely one of Russell's better ones.
Yeah, they had what up? And then finished that off. So I took a nap today. Then we went and saw the Demon Slayer movie. Um,
I give it a
so it
7.1 out of 10.
It wasn't a real movie. It was the last
Sneak
two
peek
episodes.
at the episode.
Yeah, it was well, actually, it was it was the last 2 episodes of season 2, and then the first half of episode, or I don't even know. They might just release 3 episodes. I heard the first premiere is going to be an hour long, so that was only 20 minutes. But it was still a cool experience because I'll take any time you can go to an American theater and watch anime any day of the week.
They've been doing it a lot more nowadays too.
Because it's making money, it's popular, and
Yeah, I drugged Chris to go see the last My Hero movie. She actually enjoyed it. That was the one with
My
the
Hero
boy
came out
or
today
whatever.
too, and
Yeah, it was really good. My Hero's heating the fuck up.
it's almost like I read an article for the Marvel universe, and they're saying that if fans are saying if you want to do Secret Wars right, you don't do a movie, or you don't even do a sequel movie. You do like a 3 or 4 movie where like everything's going on.
Oh, like a trilogy.
Yeah. So you can explain more of it without rushing it, because
So I feel like everyone's rushing these superhero movies now. Like, I don't know. And Rogan said it right. I saw a clip today that was funny because it was when he did his thing with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And he was like, "So, all right, look at this. This is how it's gonna go. They're gonna have like 3 or 4 lackluster Marvel movies are gonna come out."
Yeah.
Which is 100% happened. There's been a bunch of lackluster Marvel movies that have came out that just haven't hit the fucking bar. They
yeah.
haven't, like they've been making money, but
Like,
they just
look,
haven't.
I like Ant-Man, but it didn't do well.
Yeah, they didn't hit the fucking threshold. And he's like, and then after that, they get into some world-ending event, and they need a fucking super genius, and they can already travel through time. They get that time machine working again. Boom, there you are.
Yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr., I mean, they've already said they're not going to work with him again, which could just be a ploy.
Yeah.
But also, he said, do you think it would be weird after all that happened if I put the jersey back on?
Yeah.
And Joe immediately was like, no, absolutely not. It wouldn't be weird at all. It would be weird had they never done the time travel thing.
Yeah.
Had they just created the time travel thing to bring him back, that would seem weird.
Yeah.
But now that it's already set, I could totally see them going through and maybe getting like a young Tony that's still like, he hasn't quite settled down with Pepper Potts yet, kind of the billionaire philanthropist. Just got back from the
Tom
cave.
Cruise.
Just got back from the cave.
Not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise. I think Robert Downey Jr. could do it. A Tom Cruise one, I would love to see Tom Cruise play like a serious Iron Man, like not one that's like kind of snarky and jokey, but like a serious one.
Yeah.
Like there's an old comic book, and it was like God Iron Man or something like that. Like he figured out a way to make himself way smarter. He met up with Daredevil, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna help you out because I can do whatever I want." And so he like put some fucking powder on him or something like that, or he just like held his hand over his eyes, and Daredevil could see like not Travis, that's my brother's name. His name's Murdoch. Yeah, Matt Murdoch. My little brother's middle name is Murdoch. That's why I said Travis.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so
Travis
Matt
Murdoch.
Yeah, yes. So he puts his fucking hand over his fucking eyes or whatever, and he slowly was able to see. And Murdoch was like, dude, you're a piece of shit. I don't want to work with you, because I guess he had done some bad shit before. But this was like Iron Man. This is like unbeatable Iron Man. Like Iron Man didn't need the Avengers, never made the Avengers, did it all on his own. Super strong, super powerful. He had like he had a monologue where he was like, I'm a god. I don't know why I even waste my time talking to people, because it doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want. And he just gave him sight real quick. He's like, if you work with me, you can just have that forever. And you'll have all your abilities that you had before, and you'll be able to see. And then Iron Man's like, let me know what you say. It'll wear off in like 20 minutes, by the way. And then just like flew off. And so Daredevil called his boy, Froggy, and was like, yo, come over real quick. And Froggy came over, and he's like, yo, what's going on? And like as Froggy walked in, his sight started to fade. He's like, don't worry about it. I just wanted to see you. He's like, what do you mean you wanted to see me? He goes, don't worry about it.
That's pretty cool.
He just never told him. So he got to see like his best friend one time.
Yeah, so to swing it back, right now in the latest My Hero, I'm getting Civil War vibes, which is sick.
Yeah, definitely Civil War vibes.
And then to wrap it to a cooler event too is because of the last Ant-Man movie, I've been watching a lot of clips from Loki, because I've already seen the season.
Yeah.
And as he's marching with other Lokis, there's the kid Loki, and he's like, oh, why does he wear the horns? And they're like, oh, because he's the leader. And he goes, oh, what was your Cataclysm event? And then he goes, oh, I killed Thor. And then they flash to the comic book series that they've written about that kid, and I was like, that's the comic book series.
I love Marvel's so cool too, because they can just, there's an infinite amount of.
They did it right. And
yeah. This galaxy, this universe of Marvel it was sick to watch, like all of it come down, because it wasn't like all these storylines never came together the way they had in the comic books. Like they picked and choose like the cool ones to bring in, or the ones they wanted to bring in, not necessarily the cool ones, but there's so many more options for them. They could restart the whole thing and then just have what's his name, Thanos, just not be the guy.
Right.
It could be a different guy.
Yeah.
Infinity Stones, not a big deal. Those have already been dealt with.
Yeah.
And then they just start over with, it doesn't even have to be fucking Iron Man. Iron Man doesn't have to be the main guy. It could be fucking Spider-Man. It could be an old Peter Parker getting the fucking gang together.
Yeah.
It could be fucking, what's his name? Wasn't in any of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool could get together like some guys from other multiverses and then just have Ryan Reynolds.
Which Ryan Reynolds of this next one is probably his last.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. The one thing that makes me excited, that hopefully I live into my 60s and the world still works the way it does now, the fact that like there's going to be like, we're going to be 80 and there's going to be like, oh, new Avengers.
Yeah.
And then like it's going to be like, okay, so phase 1, phase 2 goes by, they're 10 years in, we're 80, and then all of a sudden like they're like, oh, pivotal point, and then you're like, oh my god, is that fucking old Thor? And it's gonna be fucking him, just as and you're gonna be like, my heart, and all these like fucking idiots are gonna be like, and then the nerds are gonna be like, oh my god, this is the original Thor, but you're gonna be like, that's my boy right there,
old
dude.
Thor, I think we talked about this before, but old Thor would be so fucking cool. Old Thor has a whole thing where he goes and has to like find his fucking hammer because his hammer abandons him. And it's crazy. There's so many things. The old Hulk is what I want to fucking see. Old Hulk is crazy because he lived hundreds of years. He killed everybody on every planet and was just alone in the galaxy. And his last hurrah, like he lived for like a few hundred years just alone on a planet. And his last thing was he man jumped to the sun to try and defeat the sun, because that was the last thing left in his universe.
Another person that they don't give enough credit right now to is Taskmaster, because I think they had him.
Was that John Cena's guy?
No, this is still Marvel. He kills Spider-Man. He almost killed So as a
Whatever
character,
universe he was,
as a character, he's killed Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. He's killed the Punisher. And he almost killed Deadpool.
Oh, in like separate universes or all in the same?
Like different storylines.
Yeah.
But like still as a character.
Okay.
So like, which is like, because the Punisher in one scenario killed every fucking Marvel hero. But like, I think they just had him in a weak ass cameo.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the Taskmaster. And you're like that. Come on, bro. So I don't know. When you can restart, because we're in phase 5.
Yeah.
Eventually, when you hit the restart, that's when you got to start tagging. I think that's what DC's doing with Swamp Monster, because the first DC movie that James Gunn in their phase 1, they're ending with the Flash, and then they're gonna go to a rated R Swamp Monster.
Oh, I like that.
And so Swamp Monster might not be like the main guy later on, but it's gonna be like the first big thing, a separate rated R film. And then little here with kisses of what's going on else, and then expand, but still do these single movies of characters that never get fucking anything. The fact that Swamp Monsters is going to be rated R means a lot of murder.
Have we talked about how the Marvel Universe started, like this giant pop of superhero movies? So
No.
So they were looking to do back in like the late 90s. They were looking to do they wanted to sell toys.
Okay.
And they knew to sell toys, they had to make a dope movie. So what they did was they had like a think tank type thing, and they brought in a bunch of kids,
Right.
from like 6 to like 13 or something like that, and they put a bunch of toys in front of them, and they were like, "Hey, pick out which one of these action figures you would love to see a movie on." And the one that got the most votes was Iron Man. Like, Iron Man was the coolest action figure to them. So they're like, all right, we're going to make a fucking movie to sell these action figures because that's how we make money. It's not off the movies, it's off the fucking
Toy
sales.
Yeah,
off the merch sales. And so they tried to do it as low budget as possible. They got Jon Favreau to direct it because he hadn't done fucking shit yet. And then they tried to find a big time actor that was down on his luck that wasn't going to hurt for a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. So they got Robert Downey Jr. fresh out of fucking jail.
Yeah.
And they got him to do it. And it did so fucking well. There was no way they could sell enough toys to outdo how the movie did.
Yeah.
And then they're like, right after that movie aired, like they had no idea that the Avengers was even going to be a thing when they were making that movie.
Yeah.
They added in shit like later on to make it like more cohesive.
Yeah.
So the entire Marvel universe that we have right now, the whole Thanos saga,
Based off a
all of that,
toy.
based off of a fucking toy in the late '90s that did well in a think tank.
And John Farva does Star
Farva?
Wars.
Favreau?
Favreau. Yeah, I know. But he does.
Sound like you said Brett Favre's name wrong.
Yeah, I know. But he does. Yeah, it's a run-on. But he does Star Wars. He does Marvel, and he acts and
He also directed Elf right after he did.
Will Ferrell and him have a beef apparently.
Oh, really?
Allegedly.
Really?
That's why they're as well and successful as Elf 1 did. You know, everyone was like, why didn't Elf 2 do so well? And it's low key.
So I heard. I watched an interview with Will Ferrell, and he said he didn't do a second Elf. Like there was supposed to be one on the table. He said he didn't do it because he wanted it to be a one-time classic.
Yeah, but also he said they didn't like they were beefing on set.
Oh, really?
Allegedly.
Interesting.
But
I like that they only made
another
one.
thing that okay, so throughout the week to make the JT show better, once we find fascinating things, it's kind of hard not to tell your friend like, oh shit, like I just found out this crazy fact.
Yeah, we still talk every day, but it's like less fun facts
yeah,
during the week.
and so one of them though that he found that I found, but I just discussed with him because it was one of those points was from Freaks and Geeks.
Oh yeah.
The main character from Freaks and Geeks.
I have his name saved. Let me keep talking. I'll pull it up.
The little boy in the family. He went on to. He played in Bones until they killed him off. He directed the National Lampoon movie. Which the second Vacation.
Did a bunch of B movies.
Yeah. The Vacation with Ed Helmsreith. What's the guy from The Office? With the glasses.
Oh,
Andy.
yeah, he takes out his tooth in Hangover.
Yeah, so
it's Ed something.
Yeah, Ed Helm. Yeah, whatever. So he directs that one with him, and then he goes on to write Spider-Man: Homecoming, which was one of the best movies fucking ever. And then goes on to direct another National Lampoon.
Yeah,
movie.
so here's his thing. So he was the main son in Freaks and Geeks, and then he did nothing.
What's his name?
For 11 years. I'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
He did nothing for 11 years after Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And then after Freaks and Geeks, he got on as Bones.
Yep, for 7 seasons.
For 180 episodes.
Yeah, he asked to be written off. Like, he wanted a break.
Yeah, so he did that, and then he wrote Vacation.
Yep.
With Ed Helms.
Ed Helms.
Ed
yeah.
Helms.
Oh, so close.
And then he did the National Lampoon movie, and then out of nowhere he got the bid to write Spider-Man: Homecoming. So he wrote the movie.
Yeah.
He didn't direct it or anything. He wrote. He was like the main writer on it. And then after that, he just goes off and does another dumb movie, just B movie. So
another
all
National
his
Lampoon movie.
All his passion projects.
He's a great
What
writer.
the fuck's his name? I thought his name was going to be in it. I'll just look up the Freaks and Geeks cast.
I want to say it's Matt.
That sounds right.
But I can't think of what it is.
John Francis Daly.
Not even close.
Dude, the cast of this, too, is just fucking wild.
Jason
bro.
Segel.
Bill Haverchuck. Jason Segel. Fucking James Franco. Seth Rogen. Just like... There was just so many fucking people in that shit. But yeah, so he did Freaks and Geeks, lived off of that money for 11 years. And then I'm sure he did other shit in between. I'm sure he had a normal job. And then he fucking wrote the Lampoon movies, Vacation, made a little money there, and then was like, fuck it, I'll just write Superman. Wrote Superman, and now he's just fucking do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
That's like, what's the Harry Potter guy? Who's the guy that played Ron?
Oh,
You should know his name. Come on, that's one of your brothers.
God, dude. He's the only...
It's your third cousin. You should know this.
I don't know his name.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, so he hasn't done shit since Harry Potter. You know what he's been doing? He bought a fucking ice cream truck and was giving away ice cream for free in the neighborhoods around his house.
He had a TV show as well, Rupert Grint.
Yeah, no, he had one that got canceled. It was the one about him getting cancer but not really getting cancer. And
Yeah.
he did that like years later. I think that was like a 2018, 2019
Yeah,
project.
yeah. He was the only actor in Harry Potter that never thought about leaving Harry Potter.
No, he
Yeah, 'cause he-
just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
That was something he did as a kid.
Yeah.
Like he just, it's really funny. Harry Potter, by the way, I think it's really funny that they had a season where they all have, not a season, they had a movie where they all have long hair.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was funny because they went through because that was like the style of the time that
No.
it came out. Mm-hmm. No, like the year it came out.
No, that's that. There's a. So okay, so every.
What year was that movie?
It was the Prisoner of Azkaban. No, it was the Order of the Phoenix. No, it's Goblet of Fire. Goblet of Fire. So it was 2000 and let me guess. It's Goblet of Fire. That's the one where they all have long hair. Goblet of Fire is gonna be 2008.
05.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. At the time, like in my life, in
Yeah.
05, all my friends had long hair.
The-
that was like a
but-
normal thing. And then we saw Harry Potter and they had long hair, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
So here's why he had long hair. So the original director of Harry Potter always told all the actors to not get their haircuts off season so they can style their hair for whatever the fuck they want to because they already had longer hair so they can cut into whatever style they needed to.
Yeah.
So the new director that took over that season, they all came in with long hair and he goes, I fucking love it. And then that's why they all had awkwardly long hair during that one movie is because they all came in with long hair and the director
It
was
wasn't
like,
even awkward. It was like well past the awkward stage. Like,
well,
they had
well,
a
yeah,
hat.
but everybody had long hair, and it was just because the director came in. He was like, "Oh shit, that you guys have long hair. That's great."
Shove that in there.
Here's one of my only fun facts for today. Speaking of like Harry Potter and Disney and all that stuff, do you know that Disney World is one of the most popular places to abandon your child?
I believe it.
And I saw this thing
Like
on
the
it.
purposeful thing or accidentally?
No, on purpose.
Okay.
Because like there's
They're treating it like a fire station.
They take them to the and they abandon their families. They'll take their whole families, and so they told one story where
He went to Disneyland, never saw him again.
right, so you
That's
you
crazy.
take your child or family to the most magical place on earth, and they think that their life has never gotten better. Because I've never been to Disneyland, and I'm past a child, so the only time that I will ever see that joy is if I take a child that I had.
I'd go to Disneyland with you.
Yeah, I want to go to
Disneyland's
Star
fun.
Wars.
I've been to
We'll
Disneyland
get Frank.
in SoCal.
Hey, it's $109.
I've been to Disney
It's
World.
$109 to fly to Frank's round trip.
It's not bad.
And they can buy the in if you're a Floridian
In-state tickets, yeah.
yeah. So so for instance, I forget what ride it was, but this father was in line with his child in a ride and just said, "Hey, you have to use the restroom. I'll be right back." So this little kid's in line and he gets all the way to the front. His dad never comes back. Finally, find somebody. They go through facial recognition. They follow this guy from. It just left the park. Just left his child, and that's really shitty. And
I assume he didn't have a mom. The mom was out of the picture.
so that brings me to the question: do you think if that happened to you, you could ever revisit Disneyland?
What do you think? What do you think is worse? Dad leaving the house and being like, "Yo, going out for a pack of smokes and some milk," and never coming back, or bringing you to Disneyland, buying you a churro, and saying, "Hey, stand in line for the teacup and dipping out."
Okay, so same scenario, either home or it's Tom Brady's very first Super Bowl, and your dad takes you to the Super Bowl, and it's the fourth quarter, and he goes, "Hey, I'll be right back, Dustin. I got to use the bathroom," and then you watch the Patriots win the Super Bowl, and you're
never
like,
watched football.
"Yeah, yeah," and then the crowd dies down. The celebration. Like maybe he'll come back, and then you're still the whole celebration's ruined because you're thinking, "Where's my dad?" And then at the end of the game, when everybody clears out and you go to security, your dad's gone.
I think that I consume so much NFL content that it would be way more devastating if he left me at an NFL game, any NFL game.
That's what I'm
Even-
saying.
Even a preseason game.
Disney World's different.
Disney World. I think I'd
Would it
still be able
ruin
to watch
Gillette
the
Stadium?
movies Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd never be able to go back. It
Yeah.
would be like a thing. They'd make a documentary about it like years later and be like, oh, he was left when he was 8 at the stadium and now here he stands as it gets demolished or something. Like, you know, it'd be something like that. But like at Disneyland, on the other hand, I mean, especially since it happens to so many kids, there's probably a fucking Facebook page for those kids.
Yeah.
Like they can like talk with each other and be like, yeah, my dad left me too. Oh, Teacup Ride. Oh, I was in Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
Like,
Legoland.
yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That would forever ruin that park for me, and maybe all theme parks.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them.
Like,
Because I don't think I'd ever be able to watch football again. The
Yeah.
same. Like, whenever I watched the football game, I would always think of
that's like if like I went to see Star Wars Episode 1 at the age that I was, and my dad took me, and then he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and the whole time, like, fucking Darth
just
Maul.
enjoying Star Wars.
Darth Maul, like my dad,
Yeah.
my dad gets up primed to pee. He's like, okay, Anakin's fucking right about to get on the ship, to fucking fly off into space and destroy the fucking viceroids.
Yeah.
And here comes Darth Maul. I'm like, oh my god, that's cool, Dad. You're missing it. You're dumb, haha. And then by the end of the movie, it's like, that's the craziest movie I ever saw. And be like,
Just sitting there kicking your feet on the thing.
yeah, oh fuck, you
Everyone's
know.
gone. The lights are on. They're
And we're not
they're
trying to make,
sweeping up popcorn
and
under
you
your
know,
feet.
if you're one of these kids that got abandoned by their father, we're sorry. We're not making fun of you. We're just saying these scenarios. I never thought that one of the happiest places on earth had these like crazy things to it, and that was one of the craziest things that I saw was that is a really popular spot to abandon your family or children.
So I just listened to a podcast, and it was Stavi's World, and he had this fucking dude on. His name is Monroe Martin. He's a comedian. He's apparently pretty funny. I only heard one joke of his, but he was talking about it. And so he grew up in foster care, and both of his parents were like just terrible fucking people. Mm-hmm. And he's tried to reconnect with his dad multiple times. He got on SNL. He got on like the Tonight Show, like just to do spots. And like his dad hit him up one time. This is like the 5th time. Dad hit him up and was like, "Yo, let's kick it. Let's get some fucking food or something." And so he was like, "All right, I'll leave tickets at the door for you to this comedy show I'm doing tonight." And he's like, "All right, cool. See you there." He stayed till like 1 a.m. listening to all these guys that were just like not good. And his dad never came. And he went back home, and his fiance at the time was like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Oh, I left tickets for my dad at the door, and he never came." And she was like, "Why would you believe him? Why would you believe him?"
Yeah.
So instead of like consoling him, she was like, "Why would you believe him?" And then like years later, he had already like made it as a comedian. Like he's a professional comedian. Like he's doing all these spots, getting paid. He's making a decent living, probably about as much as we're making right now. But he's making money telling jokes.
None of that.
And anyways, he's about to go out with his friends, comedian friends, and his dad hits him up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm trying to hang out." And he's like, "Oh, we're at this diner, eating food, talking shit. Come through if you want to." And he's like, "All right." So he shows up, him and his wife, and he pulls up, and it's like super awkward because it's like him and like 8 comedians just like chilling there.
Yeah.
And his dad sits down and they start talking, and then like the main comedian comes up, like the guy that was like paying for all their food came up.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, who's this motherfucker?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Monroe's dad." And he looked at him, and he'd been kicking it with these guys for years, so he knew
Yeah.
the whole thing. And he looked at him, he goes, "Motherfucker, you don't have a dad?" And they all just started laughing, and he was like, "All right, you got me there. And then he starts like, his dad starts crying, like in front of these comedians in this diner, and they're all just like kind of like looking at each other, being weird. And then like the waiter comes, they order their food, and then they just start bullshitting. And he's like, "Oh man, I've seen you guys all over the place. You guys doing good things." And he's like, "My dad's never seen shit. He doesn't even have a phone. Like, where would he have seen us?" Like he's just talking shit. And then towards the end of it, he gets up and he's like, "All right, son, we'll have to do this again sometime. I had a good time." And they dip out. And then the comedians are just sitting there chilling, talking about how awkward it was. And then the bill comes. And the dad had ordered 2 combo plates and didn't pay for it. And the guy that was paying for it, he's like, "Your dad didn't even leave any money. He left us with the fucking bill." And then the whole rest of the night, they had to drive back to their house, and it was like 8 hours away. The entire ride home, they were just dogging him for his dad skipping out on the bill. It was like, motherfucker didn't even have money for a tip. And that's like one of his stand-up jokes, and I'm sorry because I probably fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like, I probably told it terribly because I don't know all the fucking fine details, but that story made me laugh so fucking hard, bro. Stavi's fucking podcast, Stavi's World, fucking hilarious.
I love Stavi.
Dude, you should definitely start getting into his podcast because they're not all that long. They're about an hour.
No, I listen to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's like 15 of them.
I listen to his best ofs.
They're all fucking gold.
Yeah.
Like they're all really good, and they answer the phone, and they talk to fucking like people that call in. They leave voicemails and give them
yeah.
shitty advice.
Yeah.
On stuff. It's just it's fucking hilarious.
Stavi's one of those
that
people.
joke I laughed at really fucking
Stavi's
hard.
one of those people that I feel like if I had a good set and he asked me to go out to like drink or something, that I could just tell, like, we just trade stories.
Oh yeah. He's
one of those guys that
fucking
like,
funny.
you know, like let's say Stavi. Okay, we're hanging out at Earl's. Okay, you know where Earl is.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boonies. We're hanging out at Earl's, and Stavi's tour bus for no reason just pulls up broken next to Earl's house and be like, hey, can we just park here for a while our tour bus gets fixed? And Earl's like, you want a drink? And by the end of the night, Stavi would be like, this was one of the raddest fucking nights ever. Because he would just click with that group.
Yeah. Yeah, he's funny because he knows a lot about like Greek mythology and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's funny how like everyone else's gods like they like heal sickness and
That's why, like, as a comedian, I watch shit I probably never would watch.
Yeah.
To just like try to like, okay, so I watch a lot of documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
One of the documentaries that, like, you know, sometimes they're about murder, but I mean, sometimes you find whatever. Like, sometimes you're like, oh shit, here's how you spin it to make it funny. Tom Segura does a great about the first 48 hours. Mm-hmm. There's different comedians that talk about different shows, and so I always try to, like, you know, I have a half-ass one about Hoarders. It's not that good.
Yeah.
But they're making a documentary about Jared from Subway.
Oh shit.
So I wrote like 4 minutes on that.
That's fucking funny.
And I haven't even seen it. So yeah, so I mean, like, so comedians like Stavi, and then Chris DiStefano also knows a lot about history. And then, like, you know, Ari uses his knowledge of the history of Hebrew.
Yeah.
And that's what makes those specific guys hilarious.
They're fucking funny. I love all of it, and Stavi's definitely part of like the next wave of big comedians.
Louis
coming
C.K.
in.
knows a lot about, like, film.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that, like, you take a subject and then you can just spin it.
Yeah, those guys are good at it. They've been doing it for a while. And as Stavi also said too, because he was like, yeah, you get these stand-ups that come in and they kill it for like the first 3 years they're in, and then they bomb a couple times, and they think they're like a seasoned vet. And he's like, you're not even considered a comedian until you're at least 15 years in.
Yeah.
And he's 34 or something like that right now, and he started when he was 18. He's like, I'm barely like on the threshold. Like, he's like, I got my start because some dude took me on the road and I performed well.
That's why, like, 2023, I'm gonna try to go down to Nashville at least once in the summer.
Nashville's a good one. We gotta get you to Kill Tony. That's
Yeah.
I think that's like the goal, because I think that's how people make it. There was that one Hans Kim. They talk about him all the time. He's a regular on there.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a regular on there. He got like the golden ticket or whatever. He can just come in and do spots at Kill Tony whenever the fuck he wants. And he was like living on the streets for like months in Austin, and then just randomly got a spot on Kill Tony, and now he's touring.
That's crazy.
Like, that's fucking. It's just a crazy fucking story. They told a story about him on the. I don't know if you listen to the Hinchcliffe podcast, but how Hans Kim was in Florida. He's in like Miami or something at a pool party, and he forgot to bring a bathing suit, so he just wore his jeans in the pool. He was just like a little Asian kid wearing jeans in the pool, and he was like filming stuff, like just random like content shit, and he was just wearing jeans, and he just never mentioned the fact that he was wearing jeans. Just didn't mention it. And it's funny because like it's a funny move. It's a funny move, and so like funny people perform well on Kill Tony, and they get rewarded for it.
Yeah,
and it's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen. We just gotta make a trip down to Austin. Go down there for a month. Go to like 3-4 shows. Try and get your name pulled.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to the next like 10 years of comedy.
Yeah,
I
got booked. So I got booked for 2 spots for this month, but I had to hit one club back and tell them that I just can't make a date because I looked at the dates wrong. I signed up for the Tuesday shows instead of the Friday shows. So hopefully they let me change to one of the Friday shows. If not, then I'm only booked for 1 for this month thus far.
Gotcha.
But once nicer weather goes by, I'm definitely going to drive down to Toledo to go to the Funny Bone because it's open mic on Wednesdays, and that's only an hour away, so it's just a commitment of a drive. So it's just one of those things where you just...
Yeah, I'll tag along for that one too, because that's one of the places I want to go anyways.
Toledo?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's going to be...
Well, like the Funny Bone specifically, because it's talked about.
Yeah, take pictures there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's one thing I don't do and it's because usually, I mean,
And if you go to a marquee spot, you got
Yeah.
like the Funny Bone, or if you're
Well, I mean,
like
like-
the Comedy Store,
like,
or
I-
like,
like-
any of the places
like-
in New York.
like one of my first real spots was in Dayton, Ohio, at Wiley's comedy spot, and they had 2 cameras that recorded me.
Yeah, that's sick.
And then they sent me that video, which I have somewhere, but they have a set that's fucking recorded, and it's super early on. That was super dope.
Yeah. Speaking of comedians, quick little cut stumpers.
Okay.
So you already got a little hint,
Okay.
but this is another one. Who's this motherfucker?
Oh,
Not
man.
famous for football, but he played football.
Robin Williams?
Robin fucking Williams.
Robin Williams.
Robin
Hell
Williams
yeah,
is a fucking
dude.
football player, dude. I don't know who the fucking Bokits are.
It was.
I don't know what that team is that he's on.
So
I have
it-
no idea.
I've
I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to Google
Houston
that real
Rocket?
quick.
No, but if you,
Bockets.
it's like his. It was like his stare. You know, the eyes, the mouth, the nose. It was
Yeah,
it was like who is that? Who stares hard like that? One of the best people over generations,
Oh,
Flubber.
it did say Rockets.
Yeah,
Toledo Rockets.
Toledo. Yeah, Toledo. Goddamn, we were just talking about Toledo. That's who it is.
That's crazy.
Funny.
So he played for Toledo. That's fucking wild.
Funny story. I could kick field goals, and I sent a film to Toledo, and they're like, "Yeah, if you walk on and make it, we'll give you a scholarship just to cover the out-of-state tuition, which was $2,000 more a year if you're out of state." And I was like, "I can't afford that.
Yeah.
To not even, I could try to walk on and not make it and still be enrolled." And be like, "Oh, well, I can't make it now. I got to talk to this other school at the last minute and go to community college like I did anyways." Hilarious.
Yeah, it's wild. I want to find more of these like notable people that have played football. So I think it's interesting. Did you know that Channing Tatum was a stripper for like 3 years?
No.
Yeah, like he was like a real stripper, like back in like the late '90s. Oh, I gotta open it. Sorry, I was talking about Channing Tatum stripping.
Your mind was too distracted. I can just multitask.
I do have some space shit that's pretty interesting. We've talked about it before, but it's definitely podcast worthy. So the new telescope they got out, it's catching some crazy fucking pictures of deep space, and they found a solar system that is lived and died. Like it went through the whole life cycle.
Like
And
it's post-cycle.
that's not supposed to happen for like 500 million years.
Yeah.
Like that's like the minimum. And this thing is like at the edge of what we can see, and we thought it was like 14.5 billion years old or whatever. So the universe is way fucking older than we initially thought. Like way fucking older. And I think that's super interesting. Like we're getting all these pictures of like black holes and old solar systems. Like there could have been whole civilizations that lived and died.
Yeah.
And just no more.
Well, I mean, with endless possibilities, and like if there are planets, it's like, how would it not?
Yeah, no, and I think I don't remember who it was that said it, but like thinking that you're the only intelligent life in the entire universe, like how? Oh, what's the word? Like it's not cocky, but it's like how entitled are you to think that you're the only intelligent beings in the entire universe? And the universe is, as of right now, it's endless. We don't see an end of it.
Yeah. So like other theories that I've seen for ancient is like these people built these massive technologies, and we're like, oh fuck, this is not going to be a sustainable planet for as long as our species wants to.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe we're the descendants of some like wild shit that came here.
Or like, oh shit, a cataclysm event is about to take over, so we got to dip. And so it's a one shot. Even though they might have had that technology to get out of here, it was, hey, we got to go the fuck away forever. And then we're just fucking chilling here now, just going, oh, why is it getting a little hotter out? We don't know yet. And that's why I like watching that shit, because I'm just like, fuck, we're gonna die. And they already left. And then someone wrote about Jesus, And it's like, could you imagine if we died, right? Like, let's say, like, the polar fucking shift, all the fucking water goes out everywhere, everybody dies, civilization starts over, someone finds this ancient USB, and they're like, holy shit, I'm Joseph Smith, and they plug it in, they're like, so Harry Potter, he died for our sins, and then so J.K. Rowling's writings.
I've always thought that, not to get like religious, but like, what if Jesus himself was just like a normal dude? Like, I always equated to my dad, because I thought dad was Jesus for a while, but like, my dad was a smart dude, and he was charismatic, and he knew a bunch of shit. Like, he knew carpentry very well, and he knew all these little like sleight of hand tricks, like all these dumb little like card tricks. Like, what if Jesus back in the day was just that? What if he was just a smart dude that worked a blue collar trade, and he could just like, you know, someone come up to him and be like, oh, I'm sick, and he's like, here, drink this water, because he knew that fluids would help, and then 3 days later they got better, and like that's what it was, and it just magnified. And then I think that Jesus was just that guy. Like, he was just a smart dude, and he was like, hey, we should all be nice to each other. Like, what are you doing? Stop doing this shit. I don't think he was preaching any type of thing. I don't think he said I was the son of God. I think all of that was post his death. I think all of that was some other dude that was kind of smart, but like made money off the back of other people, was like, oh, watch this. He's resurrected now. We have him. No one else sees him, but we have him. He walked out. Let's go get his body. And they bribe the guards that are standing at the door of the fucking thing. Because, like, if you're just standing at the door and someone offers you fucking, you know, a pound of gold, you're not going to look the other way for a second. And then all of a sudden they write this fucking whole Bible after this guy, make a whole religion, a whole racket, a whole fucking thing. And they're teaching people to live the right way, which I still think that the teachings in the Bibles are correct. You shouldn't kill people. You shouldn't fuck your neighbor's wife. You shouldn't steal. Like, all those things are...
Shouldn't wear clothes from 2 different fibers.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
not
shit.
so much that one.
Oh, yeah.
Not so much that one. But, like, all those things are, like, they're great, like, rules of thumb to live by. Like, they're just good
morals.
things. It's moral shit. And kids aren't...
If you have a self-conscience...
It's just like a list of
you have a
rules that
self-conscious,
you
shouldn't be okay with killing somebody and going back to McDonald's.
Yeah, you shouldn't slaughter your neighbor and then rape his wife. You just shouldn't do that.
No.
That's a bad thing. You shouldn't do that. But, yeah, I think... Real bad take cut here, but I think that he was just a normal dude and someone else.
I'm just censoring one word.
Oh, what is that?
The R word. Anyways.
What R word did I say?
It's another word for a monkey. If they made a video game on it for Ape Escape for PlayStation.
Oh, I don't even know. Just say it and bleep it out again.
Rape.
Oh, we can't say rape?
you know,
that's crazy.
Okay, so I don't really like to censor anything, but as far as getting your content pulled, your mom's house censors that word.
Really?
And so do a couple other comedians. So that's the one where when I hear it, I'm just like, we should just drop it out real quick.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
just because I'm not.
You shouldn't force yourself on your dead neighbor's wife after you slaughter him.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is like that word all the time gets just like dropped out.
That's interesting.
And it gets dropped out on YouTube, but it doesn't get dropped out on the audio podcast.
That's interesting.
So I just don't want to get our content pulled.
That's fine.
But yeah, if you play the game Ape Escape and you get and you know your alphabet, you know what word we're talking about.
Yeah, no, that was totally lost on me. I didn't know where I was at.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, the religious thing's always interesting to me. And like all the stuff, I think like most of the stories in the Bible are just, you know, just good teachings, good rules of thumb, good, you know, good practices.
Hey man, as a old Bible thumper myself, man, I was fully committed. I think I might have told you this before. I went to a Bible camp. It was a week long. Like,
oh yeah.
You went to Bible camp Monday through Friday, and you would do drills like you do Bible drills. So everybody would hold up their Bible, and the pastor would go, "I want you to flip to." Like 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 17, and the first person that knew exactly where that chapter was and where the verse was, instead of start reading it, that was points for the red team. So there's red team versus blue team.
What an incentive.
And so like during the week you'd be reading your Bible, and then like you could go up to these old ladies and you could just recite verses. You'd be like, okay, I'm gonna recite these 3 verses, and then you get points for your team. And so, dude, I was red team captain.
No, of course you were team captain.
Yeah, I was energetic. Okay, I'm an
Weird
energetic.
they made you red team captain.
So-
that seems a little racist.
So this is why I believe in God. Okay, so it's Thursday and it's a big soccer game. Okay.
Oh shit! Big soccer game.
But
Bible camp.
it's the final Bible day, you know. It's
Yeah,
the final day where you can, if you save up enough Bible points, they have like a table where you can spend your Bible points and get like a stuffed animal or a cross or something
shit,
like that.
So it's a carnival.
Yeah. so you fucking.
They took the carnival blueprints and added the Bible. Got it.
So my dad goes, "It's up to you 100%. If you want to go to your Bible thing or if you want to play soccer," because I was great at soccer, so I loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to soccer. And the fucking lightning storm came in out of nowhere, and then we couldn't play because there was lightning in the area for too long. Yeah, and I was like,
Jacob Taylor, you fucking get back.
you should have been down there reciting Bible verses and spitting your.
That's the thing though, because if you had went to Bible camp, there would have been no storm.
No, even if there was a storm, it was indoors. You're in a church.
There would have been no storm. He wouldn't have punished anyone if you had just gone to Bible camp.
Oh, so the rest of my team would have got to play?
Yeah.
I don't care. If I can't play, nobody.
You selfish bastard.
Look, I was Ginger Ronaldo. Okay,
Ginger
I was,
Ronaldo.
dude.
Ginaldro.
There was one game where Aaron and I played for, because Aaron was always on my dad's team. Because when you play youth soccer, there's technically areas, but there's also, hey, that's my son's friend, and he's not gonna play for your team.
Oh yeah.
So my dad had all my friends, and so one game Aaron and I were like, who can score the most goals? And we both scored a hat trick. And then my dad he just sat us out at the second because he's like, you guys have 6 goals and it's 6-1. And we're like, we're trying to score more. And he was just like, we're trying to not be assholes. And
There was so I was on a it was the first year of Kid Pitch.
keep going.
It was the first year at Kid Pitch, and there was a family. I can't remember their last name. I think if I think real hard, I can think of it. But he was one of my friends at the time. His name was Hunter. Oh, now I remember his last name. I'm not gonna say it though. Oh yeah. Show the
That's look, red team, dude.
red team, bro. Look at your fucking little ass, bro. Jesus Christ, man. Is that Aaron?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's me
Of
and
course
Aaron.
he's got his fucking tongue sticking out. Of course you're just...
Well, I'm so glad.
You fucking weirdo, dude.
We would not.
You look like you might have shot up a school once or twice. Yeah, you look like the type.
Dude. That's what someone said at my high school.
Yeah, no, that's why I brought
my
it up.
high
You
school
definitely
reunion.
look like you might have.
Look. Columbine happened in...
They said smile and you went...
Columbine happened in, I think, like 96, 97, 98, one of those eras. So, school shootings.
Columbine?
Columbine, yeah, it happened in the 90s.
I could have swore that was after 9/11.
No, it was,
I could have swore it was like 05, 06.
1999.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when that happened, that was the first, like, holy shit, let's hope this tragedy never happens again.
It was like the first like real covered mass shooting.
Yeah, and as terrible as it's been in the United States, in 2018 was my 10-year anniversary from a high school, and
Yikes.
one of my classmates at the bar, well into the night, well into drinking, said, "Hey, JT, I'm really glad you didn't try to kill everybody because of how the way we treated you sometimes." And I was like, not once did that ever cross my mind. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Hey, you guys would be assholes, but I'm not going to stick around for you guys to be assholes my whole life." Like, there's one point in your life where you hit a wall where you're like, I don't give a shit what you fucking saying. Who the fuck are you? Mr. I tried to drive home that night, having too many beers, and being a cop in the Air Force, I administered fucking FSTs, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen..." Because I was doing the eye nostalgia test, right?
The eye what test?
I don't know. I'm not a cop
The
anymore.
eye nostalgia test?
What is it?
The horizontal eye gaze?
Yeah, but what's the
That's what it's called.
Yeah, well, yeah, but no, there's something with your eyes when they do it.
Yeah, it's when you bring your finger back and forth and you watch it bounce. It's the horizontal eye test. Horizontal eye gaze.
horizontal gaze, nystagmus. Nystagmus. That's the N
Oh,
word.
okay.
So
You said nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm fucked
the
up.
high nostalgia
Hey,
test.
and when you're thinking of a story from your classic, and your eyes get missed- anyways,
I mean, you should know that.
basically when you're drunk, when you
All right. So
Listen.
just so everyone knows, nobody said that word when we were doing the test. It was always the horizontal eye gaze.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, when your eyes, this is a true fact. I'm fucked up, but this
Yeah.
is right. Your eyes don't lie. So when
Yeah.
the cop's doing this test, this is what you fail on most of the time. It's because
Yeah.
your eye involuntarily will skip.
Yeah, it ticks.
It
Yeah.
ticks. So instead of your eye thinking in your head, you think your eyes are you're doing it fully, but as you look,
Yeah, you move it back and forth.
your eyeball
and if
skips.
it bounces.
So, as somebody who was certified at the time, I was like, fuck it, let's do it on you. And then I was like, you can definitely not drive home. And then everybody was like, me next.
Me next.
So I was
the bell of the ball.
so probably like 7 or 8 people went through, and I was like, you're good, you're terrible. And it was hilarious because I'm like, I never knew this. And I'm just like, look, I'm just spreading the word.
the
that-
bell of the will you get a DUI ball.
Dude, well, the only reason I wasn't drinking is because my high school reunion was the day that I was leaving. So I didn't want to. I couldn't get drunk and drive to
Leaving
the
for
airport
what?
to go back to base.
Oh, you went home for it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, it was right after my birthday, so I took off my birthday
Yeah,
and then I spent it with my family. And then the only reason I went is because I texted my 2 boys, Earl and Hulk John.
You fart.
No,
Something smells like farts.
I don't smell it.
You don't smell it at all?
No, but I texted my boy Earl and Hulk John, and I was like, "Hey, you guys going?" And Earl's like, "Fuck yeah, I think it's gonna be hilarious." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna." And my favorite part was, there's all these girls that were coming up to Hulk, like, haha, remember when this girl used to like you? And in my head, I was like, you liked him, and you liked him, and you liked him, but it was fun. It was at a bowling alley.
So my reunion was supposed to be in 2021. COVID fucked that up, obviously. Still haven't had one. I'm currently connected to a Facebook page. It was Oakmont High School, Roseville, California, class of 2011. Thank you very much. And there, every like 6 months, someone posts in it and says, "Hey, not too late for a reunion. We should do this." And I always look at the pages and like what they've recently posted, and it's always like right after like 6-7 months after they have a baby, right after they start some company, right after they get a new job. Like it's always when they're doing well. It's the person's like, "Hey, let's
Yeah.
do a reunion."
Yeah.
So they're looking to show off.
Yeah.
But my class of high school graduates was 1,300 fucking people. There's like 300 people in this chat.
Oh, so it's just
There's like nobody in there.
Yeah.
And like 98% of them I never fucked with.
Yeah.
Like I knew who they were.
yeah.
Like it was definitely like
Well,
half of them-
1,300 people is. I'm not gonna. Well, if you're gonna not even round up, that's 3 times my whole high school.
Yeah, which is just crazy. But
Right.
I was also so like so we had like one of the biggest graduating classes of the school's history.
Like my dad graduated
'Cause
with
it
1,000
was-
kids.
Yeah, and that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal.
For you,
Yeah, but so my class had they had just built a school across town. So we were in Roseville, and there was 3 high schools in that city alone, and then there was connecting cities. There was Antelope, and there was Granite Bay. Granite Bay had its own high school, Granite Bay High. That's where Teddy Bruschi's kids went to. Antelope didn't have a high school, and that was like the ghetto kind of. And also North Highlands was there too. North Highlands already had a school, and that's where all the shitty kids went. So Oakmont was like the in-between school.
Reading.
They had a nickname for Oakmont from when it was first a thing back in like the 70s until when I was there, definitely. And even when Travi was in high school back in like 2013, 14, 15, they called all the Oakmont kids Cokemont because that's where all the coke dealers went.
hilarious.
But besides the point. So Antelope got a brand new high school in like 2009, 2010. And that was like our sophomore, junior year. And so they gave all the kids that lived in Antelope the option. They were like, do you guys want to graduate here, or do you guys want to be the first graduating class, Antelope High? And like maybe 40%, 30% of the kids that lived in Antelope were like, yeah, let's do that. So their graduating class of 2011 only had like 200, 300 people, maybe, at the most. So my graduating class could have been closer to 1,600, 1,700 people.
That's crazy.
But there was a small portion of kids that were like, yeah, let's go to school here.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't their decision. It was the parents' decision.
Right.
But we kept, I will drop this guy's name, Justin Calise. And he ended up going to play football for Gannon University. And he had a crazy highlight reel his freshman year. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown, returned a punt for a touchdown, and then had a wild, like a running touchdown. Like a crazy one for like 50 yards. All under like 3 minutes. Like
Wow.
3 minutes of game time.
Wow.
Like, it was just crazy. He never did anything else that was that wild again after that. But he was like 5'5", ran like a 4.38 40-yard dash. Like, he was pretty impressive. He ended up playing professionally up in Canada. And now he's he actually played for the same team. He ate lunch one time because I follow him on all social media because he was like he was the football player out of our class. But he ate lunch and bullshit with Michael Sam.
Okay.
Same. He was like the first openly gay guy to go through the draft. Mm-hmm. He played up in Canada too, so he played on his team. I don't remember what team it was, but they never won anything. And now he's a cop in Louisiana.
Wow.
And he's fast as shit. He's got a really funny story about a criminal getting away. And he says he's got a whole long paragraph. I should pull it up, but I'm not gonna. But there was a guy that was doing something in a house he wasn't supposed to be doing, and they went in there and they were trying to chase him down. And so he says he's lost 2 foot races in his entire life. Wow. One of them was to an NFL player, don't remember the guy's name, but he raced him in college and got smoked. And the other one was this fucking random criminal wearing super baggy, like early 2005 jeans with like designs all over them, and a big fucking like winter coat, like a puffy Michelin jacket coat.
Yeah.
And he said he saw the dude and said, "Hey, quit it. We need to talk." And the dude took off, and so he took off with him, and he dropped his coat and just started fucking sprinting after him. Mm-hmm. Dude, he said by the time he got out the back door, like it was like from that to that, out the back door, guy was standing at the back door. By the time he got out the back door, the guy was already over the top of the fence.
Wow.
Like over the top, like already sprinting on the other side of the fence. So he ran, jumped the fence. By the time he jumped the fence, he could barely see the guy. And so he started sprinting as fast as he fucking could, and the dude just kept further and further and further away. And then he took a turn and he just lost him. And that was the only foot race he's ever lost while he was on duty. And so he made a big old fucking rant about it, and he said, if anyone knows this guy, someone hit up the New Orleans Saints because they need some fucking help. I thought that was just fucking hilarious. He had a bunch of funny stories because he grew up in Louisiana. Hilarious. One of them was he had a turtle, like a pet turtle in Louisiana, and then Hurricane Katrina hit. And so his family like evacuated, and they came back for the aftermath, and his turtle was still sitting up on his dresser. And he was like, oh shit, my turtle. Grabbed his turtle, they moved to California, and that's when he started going to the Antelope fucking middle schools and all that shit. Mm-hmm. The first 2 weeks that he was in his house in Antelope, he was cleaning out his turtle's tank, left him on top of the dresser, went downstairs to fill up the tank of water, came back up with it. The turtle had fallen off the dresser and died.
So he survived Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, he survived Hurricane Katrina, but couldn't survive the 3-foot drop from the top of the dresser to the floor.
R.I.P. to the turtle.
Yeah, R.I.P. to the turtle. And the way he tells it,
R.I.P. to the turtle.
Yeah, he's a funny motherfucker, and he probably could have done stand-up, just the way he talks. He's a funny little fucking black kid from Louisiana, and he was fast as fuck. He's fast as fuck. He used to make jokes about how he's faster without cleats because he got energy from his ancestors. He'd just run faster, and that nobody could catch him. Couldn't even block for him. He was just so fast.
Right.
It was an astronomical difference. Nobody else was on his same level of speed at all.
Right.
But yeah, the turtle story. I remember him telling the turtle story in class, and that shit. I've never forgotten that shit. It's just funny. He survived Hurricane Katrina, but couldn't survive the fucking drop, the 3-foot drop from the fucking thing. And he said he had a whole funeral for it and buried it in the backyard, and yeah. Just funny. Hurricane Katrina survivor. That's the equivalent to falling out of bed. You live through a fucking Hurricane Katrina and then just fall out of your bed and just keel over.
Surviving 9/11, but you fucking fall on a 3-inch river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have now for time?
Well, if that's all you got, we're at an hour.
I got one more thing that's
Okay.
pretty interesting. So there was a dude back in 1920s. His name was Byron Kuhn DeProrock. I think I'm saying it right. And so he graduated from the University of Geneva, and he got a grant from the French military to start an exhibition that was going to go through North Africa. And they ran into these Arab nomads, and they were like trying to get directions from them, but they didn't have an interpreter. Mm-hmm. And so they got directions to this fucking this mountain range. It was the Matmama Mountains in Tunisia, something like that.
So
anyways, this fucking spot they found, it was an ancient civilization that hadn't been recorded before. And I got some pictures, and I want to see if you recognize the fucking pictures.
No. No.
You don't recognize either one of those.
No.
All right, so this is the city, or the planet Tatooine from Star Wars.
Wow.
That lost city that he found in the 1920s. That's where they filmed. That's where Anakin and his mom lived.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that fucking nuts? So they filmed this in this ancient fucking city that didn't exist anymore. And they just came through and they decorated it with their fucking Star Wars bullshit.
I mean, like, the only thing that I could relate that to, like, when I took a train out to New Mexico when I was 14, and we went to an old fort where they had, like a fort. Like I've been to the Alamo.
Yeah.
But the fort that we went to still had like wood logs and shit like that, like the clay buildings. And so I was like, "Holy shit, this looks old as
the
fuck."
adobe buildings, dude. Yeah. Well, we had those in California too. Fort Sumter was the big one out there, and they do like elementary school field trips all the time. There'd be the old timey people working in there. You could like make candles and shit. You just dip the fucking wick and get back in line. They dip the wick again, and then they let you take the candle home sometimes.
Yeah.
You buy a coonskin hat.
There's a village here in Michigan called Greenfield Village, and they do the old fashioned shit like that.
Yeah, they stay in character and shit. South Park did a episode on that.
They can't get out of character. What do you mean, your cell phone? But yeah, JT Show, episode 124.
And you guys want a beer? Write it down in the comments. I'll sponsor a beer. Same thing with the art. You're still
looking for the art piece.
Still looking for the art piece. So
you gotta comment.
If you comment art and beer,
art.
Beer art. You're getting both.
If the first commenter to say beer art, you get both.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't get stolen.
Appreciate you guys for watching. If you're watching this far, it's an episode in the books.
Toodles.